the veggie band that rocked the garden. We publish a new bedtime read-along story every night, so make sure to tap the subscribe button so you never miss any. Part 1, The Idea. In a small village called Green Valley, there was a beautiful garden where all sorts of vegetables were grown. The garden was not just any ordinary garden, it was a magical garden where the vegetables could talk, move, and even sing. They lived their lives, waiting for someone to come and pick them up and take them to the market. One bright sunny day, the carrots, radishes, and tomatoes were sitting together, bored and tired of their monotonous routine. They were looking for something new to do, something that would add excitement and fun to their mundane lives. That's when the most creative and adventurous carrot in the garden, Carly, came up with a brilliant idea. "Hey, why don't we start a band?" Carly exclaimed, her voice filled with enthusiasm. The other vegetables looked at her in disbelief, not knowing what she meant. "A band?" asked a surprised tomato, "What do you mean?" "We can all play different instruments and create music," Carly replied, "we can even enter a music competition and see if we can win." The other vegetables were skeptical, but they couldn't deny the excitement in Carly's voice. They all started discussing their talents and interests, and before they knew it, they had formed a band. The radishes decided to play the drums, the tomatoes the guitar, and the carrots the keyboard. They were determined to make this work and put all their effort into making it a reality. The band started to practice every day, tirelessly working hard to perfect their music. Carly was the one leading the group and taking charge of everything. She was the one who wrote the songs and even designed their costumes. The rest of the vegetables would take turns to bring in new ideas to make the music more fun and creative. Slowly but surely, the garden began to come alive with the sweet sounds of music, and the vegetables started to feel more alive than ever before. They all enjoyed playing their respective instruments, and they loved the feeling of working together as a team. They practiced day and night and worked on their harmonies, their rhythm, and their coordination. They knew that they had to work hard to stand out from the other human bands. Despite the challenges they faced along the way, the band remained dedicated and persevered. They knew they had something special, and they wanted to show the world what they were capable of achieving. Part 2, The Competition. One sunny day, while basking in the warm rays of the sun, the vegetables overheard some animals talking about a music competition that was to be held in their village. The mere mention of the word competition was enough to ignite a fire in the hearts of the vegetable band. They had been practicing for a long time, and this was their chance to showcase their talent and musical abilities to a wider audience. Excited by the prospect of competing against other talented musicians, the vegetables got to work. They started rehearsing tirelessly, perfecting every note, every chord, and every beat. They knew that to stand a chance against the other bands, they had to be at their very best. The day of the competition arrived, and the garden was buzzing with activity. Bands from far and wide had gathered to participate, and the atmosphere was charged with excitement and anticipation. The vegetables, though nervous, were eager to take to the stage and show the world what they were made of. As the vegetables walked onto the stage, they were greeted with thunderous applause from the audience. The judges sat poised, ready to evaluate each band's performance, and the other musicians watched with keen interest. The vegetables took a deep breath and began to play. Their original composition was a masterpiece, each note and beat perfectly executed. The audience was mesmerized, and their heads bobbed in time to the music. The judges looked impressed, nodding their heads in approval, and the other musicians looked on in amazement. When the performance ended, the garden erupted in applause. The vegetables had done it. They had put on a show that was nothing short of spectacular. The judges came forward, and with big smiles on their faces, announced that the vegetable band had won the competition. Overwhelmed with joy and a sense of accomplishment, the vegetables hugged each other tightly, their hearts filled with pride. They had proven to themselves and to the world that no matter how small or insignificant they may seem, they had the ability to achieve greatness. From that day on, the vegetable band became an inspiration to all who knew them. Part 3, The Doubt. As the judges began to announce the winners of the competition, the vegetables couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. They had poured their hearts and souls into their performance, but the competition had been tough. Each band had brought their A game, making it difficult for the judges to choose a winner. As the vegetables waited anxiously, their thoughts raced. Had they done enough to win? Had they made any mistakes during their performance? What if they didn't place at all? These doubts and uncertainties crept into their minds, causing them to feel anxious and uneasy. When the judges finally announced the results, the vegetables were in for a surprise. They had not won the competition, and the disappointment was palpable. The tomatoes, who had played a crucial role in the band's performance, were especially downcast. They felt as if they had let everyone down and had failed to live up to expectations. The other vegetables tried to console them, telling them that they had done their best and that winning wasn't everything. But the tomatoes couldn't shake off the feeling of disappointment and self-doubt. They began to question their own abilities, wondering if they were good enough to be part of the band. The other vegetables noticed the tomatoes' distress and decided to have a band meeting. They talked about their performance, analyzing what had gone wrong and how they could improve for the future. The tomatoes were hesitant to join in at first, but the other vegetables encouraged them to share their thoughts. Slowly but surely, the tomatoes opened up, expressing their doubts and fears. They talked about how they felt they had let the band down and how they didn't think they were good enough. The other vegetables listened patiently, offering words of encouragement and support. In the end, the band emerged stronger and more united than ever before. They had faced their doubts and fears head-on, and they had come out on the other side with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The tomatoes realized that they were an integral part of the band, and that their contribution was just as important as anyone else's. They had learned to trust in their own abilities and to never give up on their dreams. Part 4, The Triumph? After their first defeat, the vegetables could have easily given up their dreams of winning the music competition. But, they had a deep-rooted passion for music and were determined to succeed. With each passing day, they practiced relentlessly, honing their skills and perfecting their compositions. They experimented with different sounds, instruments, and techniques, eager to bring a unique flavor to their music. The band members supported each other and pushed each other to do better. Whenever one of them struggled, the others offered encouragement and assistance. The unity within the group strengthened, and they became more than just bandmates, they were friends who shared a common goal. As the competition date approached, the vegetables grew nervous. They knew that they had improved, but they were unsure if it would be enough to win. Nevertheless, they took to the stage, and their performance was nothing short of exceptional. The audience was captivated by the melody of their original composition, and the judges were impressed by the band's growth and creativity. As the last notes faded away, the garden erupted into a thunderous round of applause. The vegetables could feel the energy of the crowd and knew that they had given it their all. As the judges tallied their scores, the vegetables waited in anticipation. This time, however, they were not worried about the outcome. They knew that they had given their best and were proud of what they had accomplished. Finally, the judges announced the winners, and the vegetables could hardly contain their excitement. When they heard their name being called out, they burst into tears of joy and hugged each other tightly. They had achieved their dream, and their hard work had paid off. The garden was filled with music and celebration as the vegetables reveled in their triumph. They danced around the garden, high-fiving each other, and basking in their glory. They had proved to themselves and the world that with perseverance, dedication, and teamwork, anything is possible. From that day on, the Vegetable Band became a household name. They continued to create beautiful music and spread joy and happiness wherever they went. They even started performing in different places, sharing their love for music with everyone they met. Their fame spread far and wide, and they became known as the band that proved that even vegetables can create music that touches the soul. The carrots, radishes, and tomatoes had shown that anything is possible if you work together and never give up on your dreams. The end. Do you want to hear more stories? Then hit the subscribe button to follow our channel, so you never miss another daily story. And keep listening now, as more stories will play shortly.